Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on a 400-year-old secret from Japan. It's a way of doing business, a philosophy really, that could be the perfect antidote to the kind of burnout and short-term thinking that plagues so much of our modern corporate world.
So, to really get a handle on this ancient secret, we've got to start with a very modern problem. And honestly, it's a bit of a puzzle.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We're living in this age of non-stop innovation, incredible technology, and yet the average lifespan of a company seems to be shrinking. They pop up, they scale at lightning speed, and then poof, they're gone. So why is it that building something that truly lasts has become such a rare feat?
Well, a huge part of the answer is sitting right here. There's this relentless, almost obsessive focus on the next quarterly earnings report. It creates a culture that's all about short-term wins, often fueled by tactics like planned obsolescence. Literally designing products to break. It's a strategy that puts immediate sales way ahead of building any kind of long-term trust or sustainability.
Okay, now, I want you to contrast that frantic, short-term mindset with this number. While so many companies today are just struggling to survive a decade, Japan is home to over 33,000 companies that are more than a century old. 33,000. That doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a totally different way of thinking about business itself.
So that's the big question, isn't it? What is their secret? How on earth do they manage to navigate wars, devastating famines, and entire industrial revolutions? Well, the answer lies with a legendary group of traveling merchants, the Omi merchants, and they are the keepers of this incredible philosophy we're about to dive into.
Right at the core of everything the Omi merchants did, there's this one principle. And it's so simple, but it's also so profound that it completely changes the entire purpose of being in business. They called it the three-way win.
And this is it, Sanpo-Yoshi. It literally means three-way good. This was their code, their guiding star for every single decision they made. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some nice-sounding mission statement. It was their whole business model, built on one simple, powerful idea. A truly good transaction should never, ever have a loser.
So, it breaks down into three essential parts. First, good for the seller. Of course, the business has to be profitable, it has to be sustainable. Second, good for the buyer. The customer has to get real value, a quality product at a fair price. But then there's the third pillar, and this is the one that changes everything. It must be good for society. The business has a responsibility to make a positive impact on the community where it operates.
And look, this isn't just some dusty, abstract idea from history. This quote, it's from the personal motto of Chubei Ito I. He was an Omi merchant who founded a little company that grew into Ito-chu, which is now one of the largest corporations on the planet. The DNA of Sanpo-Yoshi is still alive and well inside major global companies today.
But Sanpo-Yoshi wasn't something they just talked about. It was a call to action. And they had a very specific way of putting these ideas into practice in the real world. They lived by this rule, Uru-mae-ni-Furu-mai. It basically translates to behavior before selling. What it meant was, before they could even think about asking for a sale, they first had to prove their value and their commitment to the local community. They had to earn their social license to operate. You have to picture this. They were outsiders walking into a new town. They knew they'd be met with suspicion. So what did they do? They'd invest their own time and money to fix local roads, build schools for the village kids, and fund public projects. Now, this wasn't just charity. It was a deeply strategic long-term investment to build a foundation of genuine trust.
See, the Omi merchants understood something fundamental. Gold and silver could be spent and lost. Their real wealth, their ultimate currency, was something they called shinyo, which means unshakable trust. They viewed that trust as their single most valuable asset, the one thing that would guarantee their success not just for years, but for generations.
And this philosophy wasn't just left up to individual good intentions. Oh no, it was baked into their business with clever, resilient systems all designed for one thing: continuity. They were building to last, not just to grow fast.
This was the question that drove them. Not, how do we crush this quarter's numbers, but how do we build an enterprise that will still be here, still be respected 100 years from now? And their famous Mosquito Net strategy is just a perfect example of this mindset in action.
Now, this strategy was completely counterintuitive. They would travel and sell their high-quality mosquito nets, their omikaya, during the off-season, often at a loss, just to build relationships. They even created an early form of installment payments, we're talking hundreds of years before credit cards, just to make sure everyone could afford one. Think about that. They were willing to take a hit now to lock in customer loyalty and create stable, predictable cash flow for the next century. Just brilliant.
They also had this genius system for succession called Nor and Wake. Basically, once a loyal employee had proven themselves, they were allowed to start their own branch using the master's trade name and reputation. This created this amazing, decentralized network of entrepreneurs that kept the whole business agile and innovative. It was the perfect defense against the stagnation that so often cripples top-down centralized companies. And all of these rules were written down in their family constitutions, or Kaken. And these documents made one thing crystal clear. The #1 priority, always, was continuity over growth. That simple principle is what allowed these businesses to be like oak trees, weathering every storm, from political chaos to economic collapse, for hundreds and hundreds of years.
So, okay, this is all fascinating history. But why does it matter to us right now? Well, it's because this 400-year-old philosophy isn't a relic. It's actually a powerful blueprint for solving some of the biggest challenges we face in business today.
I mean, just look at the contrast. The Omi mindset is all about creating value for everyone involved, the stakeholders. It prizes continuity, and it sees trust as its most important currency. It's the polar opposite of so much modern short-term thinking, which can get trapped in focusing only on shareholders, obsessing over quarterly profits, and chasing growth no matter the cost.
In fact, you can draw a straight line from Sanpo-Yoshi to one of the biggest conversations happening in boardrooms today, ESG. That ancient, simple idea of being good for the seller, the buyer, and society, well, that's the 400-year-old blueprint for what we now call environmental, social, and governance principles.
And this isn't just a nice theory. There's data to back it up. A 2024 study from Ritsumeikan University found that even today, public companies run by executives who come from the old Omi region still show significantly better ESG performance. That cultural DNA, it has clearly survived. And all of this brings us to a really fundamental question. A question for anyone who runs a business, works in a business, or just cares about the role business plays in our world. Are we just building companies designed for a quick profit and an even quicker exit? Or are we building legacies? Things that can actually endure and contribute for generations to come.
In the end, the Omi merchants left us with this one powerful challenge. It's the ultimate test for any company, for any venture. It's not about being profitable. It's not even about being innovative. The real question, the one that truly matters, is this. Are you building something so essential, so valuable to your customers, your people, and your community, that society itself will pray for its survival?